Hey girls, so today I'm going to be doing a rapid review for you, and it is on the Milani Eye Primer, and this is what it looks like. I'm just going to start this video off by telling you that I do have very high expectations for an eye primer because I do have very oily skin and oily eyelids, so I do need something that is going to make sure my eyeshadow stays in place all day long and keeps it from creasing because of how oily my eyelids are, eyeshadow creases so easily on me. And I am going to be kind of comparing this primer to the NARS eyeshadow primer. This is my all-time favorite eye primer currently, and you know, I tried Too Faced Shadow Insurance and the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and both of those do not live up to the NARS eye primer. So I'm going to be kind of comparing the Milani eyeshadow primer to this one and just kind of telling you how they compare, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. This primer can be purchased at CVS or Walgreens. I seem to be able to only find it at CVS in my area, but I think some Walgreens carry it. You can find them on their websites. You can also find them at some other websites on the internet. I find that this primer ranges from about $5.97 to about $6.99 depending where you go. I bought the Milani eye primer to give it a try to see if it would live up to the NARS eye primer. That is my current favorite. I've been on the hunt for a drugstore alternative, and so when I saw the Milani primer, I thought, awesome, I'll give this a try. So this primer only comes in one shade, which is called Nude, and it is nice because when you put it on your eyelids, it does cover up those imperfections, like any discoloration you might have, which is nice compared to the NARS eye primer because that one is white when you put it on your eyelids, and it doesn't really do much of any sort of covering up any of those imperfections, so that's really nice about it. So the packaging on this Milani eye primer is really nice because when you twist off the cap, it's actually a squeezy tube, which is nice because then you don't get any kind of bacteria into the tube, which is nice compared to the NARS eye primer, which has the doe foot applicator, so you know you can get bacteria into this tube pretty easily. This primer feels very smooth and applies very nicely. Alright, so let's get into the good stuff. Lasting power. So I have to say that the lasting power on this primer is just standard. I find that my eyeshadow does still crease on a long work day. It does, I mean, if you're just going to be out for about 5 hours, I think it's fine. But if you have oily eyelids like I do and you're going to be out for a long work day or a long day doing something outside where it's going to be hot, it definitely doesn't live up to the NARS eye primer standards. So that's kind of disappointing, but like I said, this is still a good eye primer, especially if you don't have oily skin and you don't have problems with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance and the Urban Decay Primer Potion. If those two primers work really well for you, then I think this is a great alternative. But if you do like how well the NARS eye primer works, then I do not think that the Milani primer is for you. Because for me, I still would rather pay the money for the NARS eye primer over the Milani eye primer. So like I said before though, the Milani eye primer does look really great on the eyelids because it does cover up any kind of veins you might have or discoloration that you have on your eyelids. No, I would not repurchase this item. I will be continuing to purchase the NARS eye primer. Yes, I would recommend this primer to anyone who doesn't have super oily eyelids. If you just have standard eyelids, I guess, I think this would work well for you. It's a good drugstore alternative, but yeah, so not for people with oily eyelids, I guess. So my overall general impression of the Milani eye primer is that the quality is pretty comparable to the Too Faced Shadow Insurance and the Urban Decay Primer Potion, but not to the NARS eye primer. I don't think it lives up to the NARS eye primer, but if you don't have oily eyelids, this would probably be a good alternative for you. So I guess that is all I have to tell you about the Milani eye primer. If you enjoyed this rapid review, give it a thumbs up. If you have any requests for any other rapid reviews, please leave them down below. I love getting your requests, and I guess I'll see you girls in my next video. Bye!